Why are we all so darn tired? Well, it has to do a lot with the world, unfortunately. Now, we are energetic beings. And so when I talk about the soul, I talk about the energetic essence of who we are. Now, the energetic essence of who we are interacts with every other energetic essence of who everybody else is. And we energetically interact with just the energies of the world. We interact with cell phone towers, with EMFs off of computers, with EMFs off of cell phones. These are not fluorescent lights, but fluorescent lights. Anything that is unnatural to us, our systems are having to process. Our systems are having to process. Now, we also have to think about the emotions that are going on outside of us. Emotions are another form of energy. Emotions are definitely an energetic kind of essence that could be coming off someone else and our own radar, especially if we are empaths, we could be picking up on all of this. I cannot tell you the number of clients I have worked with in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months that have told me, oh my gosh, I am so tired. I just don't know why I'm tired. I'm getting all these blood tests or getting all these medical tests to figure out why am I so tired. Now, granted, some of them are coming up with some actual physical kinds of results. But a lot of people are coming back like, wow, my labs are normal, everything's fine. But people are being zapped right now. Um, so I'm going to talk about this from a soul perspective. I'm going to talk about it from a medical perspective, and then I'm going to talk about this from an energetic hygiene perspective, what to do to try to, what I call scrape the ick off of you. So from just to start with, from an energetic kind of soul perspective, again, our souls are energy. Our souls are kind of like magnets. They're going to pick up on other people's stuff. They're going to pick up on the stuff that's going on in the world. Our country itself is not experiencing war, but because we are creating war in another country, most Americans are feeling this. Most Americans are feeling the impact of this from basically miles and miles away. Now, we could be feeling this in lots of ways. It could be because of our worry about the situation or our disappointment with how things are going, or our frustration that this war was started altogether. It could be that people are having the financial, impact of this because that is energetic as well. So, whatever the stress is, whatever the discomfort is, whatever the energy of a situation is, that can directly impact our soul. That can directly impact how we function. And it can hit us at such a deep level that we don't know what's going on. And it's like a visceral, deep, deep level. And I call it intrinsic tiredness. When someone is so tired that intrinsically every cell in their body feels like it is wilty or having a difficult time, a lot of times, again, I call it intrinsic tiredness because it's not until we wake up and realize, wow, I need to take care of this. I need to be very intentional with how I take care of my soul, how I take care of my energetic boundaries, what I'm willing to take in as far as the stressors that are in the world. So we have to kind of look at this from a soul perspective. And if we have 8.6 billion souls on this planet, well, then 8.6 billion souls are stressed because of the state of the world. And so when the world is kind of calmer and nothing major is going on, most people tend to do better. They might think that it's because of one thing or another, but a lot of it is the energetic impact that we have. And so if you are feeling what is called wired but tired or tired but wired, it's this whole aspect that our systems have been on such high alert for so long that we can't relax, we can't calm down. We have more emotional triggers, we have more anxiety triggers. We Some people have more panic attacks. There are a lot of energetic kinds of things going on right now that are causing us to feel more tired. I was talking to my best friend this weekend. I was down in Charlotte spending some time with her. We went to a modern ballet event. It was wonderful. We spent a lot of time outside. It was wonderful. But I was so tired on Saturday, and we were going to go do stuff. And we just sat on the couches just talking, which was perfect for me because existentially, I was so tired. And then she and I got into this conversation about the fact that she has found herself going to bed, and yet she's feeling like this. And granted, she works in corporate America and she's got some family health stuff going on. So it's one of those things where she has stress, but that's not like her to feel that kind of electric energy. And so if you are feeling that tired but wired feeling, it's because your central nervous system has been activated subtly or not so subtly for so long that that's all it knows. It's in a constant flight kind of perspective when it comes to the fight or flight kind of concept that we hear about. So if you're feeling that it's wearing out your system, if you're feeling that it is subtly under the surface wearing out your system. So what happens when our nervous system is activated for that long is from a body, mind, and soul perspective. This is how I'm going to go through this. From a body perspective, it raises our cortisol levels so much and so consistently that it starts chipping away at every other one of the happy or the good chemicals in our body so that it's like as the cortisol goes up, our good chemicals go down. So it's this unfortunate teeter-totter that happens. If you have been stressed for long enough, not only is your serotonin and your dopamine and your probably your melatonin and probably a lot of good things, your cholesterol can go up, your sugars can go up, all this stuff can go up if your cortisol levels have been spiking. If that's happening to you, you're going to have physiological kinds of impact. You're going to have, whether it's sleep impact, whether it is, again, like I said, your sugars can go up, your cholesterol can go up, blood pressure, heart rate, all of that stuff can elevate if you're under that fight or flight all the time, if you have those raised cortisol levels. So that fatigue that you have could actually save you. It could be a sign for you to go, wait a minute, I need to learn or to utilize some of the tools that I already have so that you can calm that nervous system. You can calm those cortisol levels. You can calm that whole system so that you don't feel wired and tired all the time. That is one way to do this, is to literally learn some breathing exercises. The one that I really like is I have people take a slow, deep breath in for 5 counts, hold it for 5 counts, release for 5 counts, go right back in and do that a few times. There's another one that is, and again, I really like this one too. I like the physician who suggests this. He's an integrative doc. I believe very strongly in him. I feel very secure with what he says, and it's reputable. But he says take a breath in for 4, hold it for 7, release for 8. So that's another way of rebalancing that central nervous system. Now, I have to admit, I've been using this a lot at night when I wake up because I so need sleep. And because my system has been energetically kind of compromised with all of my own stress and everything that I've tried to do and done these last couple of years, well, last 8 years, and also everything that's going on in the world, I have been very proactive and very active in bringing my central nervous system back into equilibrium through breathing exercises, because that really helps you kind of recalibrate your system. And I do it throughout the day. I'm not just waiting till the middle of the night. I'm doing it if I'm at a stop sign or if I'm doing it and I'm kind of on a commercial break from a TV show I may be watching, but I'm trying to calm that nervous system. Another way from a body perspective is I call it scraping off the ick. So if you're feeling just like you are collecting a lot of that energetic kind of ick, for lack of a better word, if you are an empath, if you are kind of getting that static energy from other people and it's like clinging to you, you have to find the ways for you that it scrapes it off. Now, mine are always hot salt baths. I always take some sort of I shouldn't say some sort of, I always take a hot salt bath at the end of the week, and I usually use Epsom salts, aromatherapy, turn on the jet. It's loud enough that I don't need music. But it's this idea that at the end of every week, I take that bath. Well, I've actually added 1 or 2 times in addition to that bath a week to help me release the energies that are out there because I'm collecting those just like everybody else. But I'm also more sensitive than the average bear in collecting those. So I am being more proactive to scrape off that ick through energetic release. For me, it's a bath. You can use, there's aromatherapies that can help you do that. Sound healing can help you do that. Reiki or other kinds of energy work can do that. Going outside and actually doing some grounding work. It's called earthing. Basically, go outside barefoot, put your feet on the ground. I can't tell you how good it feels for me to just go barefoot and just stand on the ground. Sometimes I sit on the ground. Sometimes I lay on the ground, depending on where I'm at. Sometimes I just go put my hands on a tree, but it's learning how to get that energetic ick off of you and figure out how you can do that from an energetic hygiene kind of perspective. So there's that. There's the body. The mind part of that is quiet yourself. Get off of those phones. Get off of all that social media that is you're listening to all the news and you're watching the same thing over and over again. You're watching things that are drama based. You're watching things, I had a client years ago that said she was relaxing to watching murder movies and watching murder exposés and documentaries. And I basically stopped her in her tracks and I said, you realize that that's the kind of stuff you're bringing into yourself, which means you're always going to be activated. You're always going to be uncomfortable. She's like, but the man's voice is so relaxing. No, the commentator doesn't need to. He could have a very comforting voice, but you have to think about the kind of information you're bringing into yourself. If you are obsessed with the news, you're going to feel bad all the time. If you are obsessed with someone else's stuff, you're taking on someone else's problems, you're always going to feel bad. So you have to learn from a mind perspective how to shut off, how to quiet the mind. Now, there's actually wonderful research out there that shows your mental health improves if you have 20 to 30 minutes a day of not listening to anything. So it's solitude, it's quiet, and also quieting your voice. You're not sitting there ruminating, you're not sitting there worrying. You're consciously saying, I'm going to listen to nature, I'm going to listen to nothing, I'm just going to have silence, I'm not going to have a TV on or a phone on or music on. It's a necessity for us to get silence. Ancient cultures had silence. It was built into them because they didn't have TVs and stereos and Wi-Fi and all that. They didn't have that. So they had a lot of solitude and they were much calmer. I can guarantee you, had someone measured their heart rate back then, it would have been much calmer. And so we have to take ownership for the kind of things we're putting into our energetic system. And this whole idea, too, of the mind is making sure your mind is not busy on hard things all the time. It's yes, we have a lot to do in our adulting lives and our humaning lives, but sometimes we just need to cut that. Sometimes we just need to have the mindless. Maybe it is going to play a round of solitaire on your phone. Okay, so that's better than something that's like a Mortal Kombat video game. You have to realize that our brains need a break. That is another thing that's happening in the world. There is so much more to think about than there ever used to be. And there's so much access to information that we never used to have. We have to quiet the minds at times. I actually love silence. When I drive back and forth from Charlotte to visit my best friend, I do not turn on a radio. I drive in silence. If I drive to the beach, which is 3.5 hours away, I basically drive in silence. I like when I'm on vacation, I basically do not turn on a TV or a stereo or even the car radio. I want silence. And that is what restores me. So that is another way to scrape off the ick is just to get some silence. Get your mind and soul quiet with yourself. So we've got the body, we've got the mind. The soul part of this is connecting back in with yourself. Your soul has so much wisdom and will tell you what you need if you learn to listen to it. And so it is those gut instincts. It is those kind of nudges from you to, oh, that doesn't feel right. I need to listen to that. And so it's learning how to listen to that internal voice that's trying to tell you something as well. And I think our biggest malady in current life is that we don't listen. We don't listen to ourselves. We muffle everything. We shove ourselves down so far that we can't even hear ourselves. Or we're so busy, we're outrunning our souls. We're quiet. We cannot get quiet. We cannot listen to ourselves because of that. So, if you are feeling fatigued, unusually exhausted, if you're tired of the world, if you're tired of the energies that are out there, it's because you need to decompress. You need to figure out how to clean what I call your energetic filter in order to release all of that. And that is something that, again, I'm usually really good at, but if I'm really tired or I'm really busy, I have a hard time cleaning that filter too. And so I've been extraordinarily mindful about it in these last several months because I was hitting fatigue. I was hitting burnout. I was hitting these times where I couldn't hear myself within as much. I couldn't hear spirit talking to me as much for my own sake. I was having the difficulty, but I keep hearing people say, I'm so tired. I'm so worn out. I can't do anything. I can't motivate myself. I can't get myself to finish this project. I can't get myself to start this project. I'm hearing a lot of that right now. And so I wanted to explain from a body, mind, and soul perspective why it is that we're tired, but also give you some tools so that you know how to quiet yourself, how you know how to, so you know how to kind of bring that activation into more of an equilibrium for yourself. So if you are tired but wired, it's probably because you need to get your nervous system balanced, you need to get your mind quieted, and you need to get your soul back to the forefront where you can hear it more. Hope these nudges help you. I'm going to keep you going with what's happening in the world. I'm going to give you that energetic update soon. But it's this whole idea of how do we constantly look at the body, mind, and soul of what we're doing so we can get ourselves back to where we need to be. Have a wonderful day.